chocolates. Please welcome Mai Lin.
I used to love chocolates, but now I am no longer a big fan of chocolates. Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, in 2005, a group of agricultural workers from Mali, a Western African country, filed a lawsuit against Nestle of perpetuating child labor in cocoa farms in Western Africa. Chocolate is a product of cocoa beans, and these cocoa beans grow abundantly in the climate of Western Africa. Some of the countries in Western Africa are really very poor, such as Burkina Faso and Mali. Children especially are very much affected by poverty. They have to go and work in the cocoa farms, even if they don't want to, but they have to because they need to support their families. Some of the children are being sold by their relatives into these farms because the relatives themselves are not even aware of the danger of working in these cocoa farms. As early as 6 a.m. in the morning, the children will climb up the trees. They will cut the bean pods using a machete. A machete is a big, heavy, and dangerous knife. Then they will put the bean pods into a sack. When the sack is full, then they will drag the sack, some of them weighing 100 pounds, through the forest. These children work very late into the evening. At night, they sleep in a small building on a wooden plank, and then the buildings are without ventilation and sanitary toilets. What do they eat? Every day, they're being provided with corn paste and bananas. According to researchers, these children age group from 12 to 16 ages, and 40% of them are young girls. Many of these young girls, they work in the cocoa farms until they turn into adults. So you can imagine their hard lives, spending so many years in the cocoa farms. Now you will say, I don't want to eat chocolates that are using forced slavery. I want to see if I can buy any slave-free chocolates. So is slave-free chocolates possible? It is possible if these major chocolate companies are determined to end child labor slavery in the cocoa farms. Imagine, chocolate is a $60 billion industry. If the major chocolate companies can improve the compensation that they pay the cocoa farmers, so that these farmers won't resort to hiring cheap labor such as using children, then we have the near of slavery of the chocolate industry in sight. So we depend on the chocolate companies. But unfortunately, in 2011, a Danish journalist, he went to one of the Western African cocoa farms. He was able to film illegal child labor in one of those farms. And to his surprise, this farm was closely related to one of the major chocolate companies in the USA. So you will say, okay, then I want to buy a chocolate that is certified. I want to read the label. Now, I will ask you, are these labels meaningful? Are these accurate? We as consumers, when we purchase the chocolates, we are not even sure that there was no child labor involved. As I mentioned, the Danish journalist who was able to film the illegal child labor, that major chocolate company, the products are actually fair trade certified. So you, as a consumer, what are your recommendations? What are your actions? For me, after all, I'm trying to lose weight. After all, chocolates are luxury items. They're not essential items like vegetables and fruits. I do eat as less chocolate as possible. As consumers, you have the choice to end the injustice of the food industry. So I urge you, or I even oblige you, as consumers, you have the choice to make a difference. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you.